Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna go over the cons of software engineering, hence why this video is named Why You Shouldn't Become a Software Engineer. Now, this isn't to discourage anyone from not becoming a software engineer. I think this is a great field and I love being in it and I love my job, but I also just want to be real and raw with you guys, and I just want you to know that software engineering is not for everyone, and that is okay. And also, I feel like the media really hypes up this field in general. I know that there's so many day in the lives that just shows rainbows and butterflies of what it's like, and I even admit to doing that too. But even though there are many great positives, just like any other job, there are also some negatives. So if you're interested in finding those out, then stay tuned and let's just hop right into it. Okay, so the very first con is that you're pretty much isolated. You just sit down at your desk all day. Some people love it, some people hate it. So it's not very social and you're just kind of like on your own for the most part when you do your tasks, versus being more like in a management role or being a doctor where you get patients every day and you have to talk to them constantly. This job requires you to just sit down on your computer all day. But to be honest, isn't that like the modern age of like what we do? Aren't we just like all on our phones or laptops anyways? So I guess it's kind of like the same thing, and that is, I guess, for some people a negative because you just don't have that interaction with people as much as you would with other jobs. One is that this job is very technical and it requires you to use a lot of your brain, which again, some people love, some people hate. It just kind of depends what type of person you are. But I do have to say, sometimes it does get a little bit tiring, and sometimes my brain is just like feeling like it's about to explode or just very foggy because you're constantly thinking and you're constantly looking at code and constantly thinking of solutions to these problems. So you really have to be always thinking and using your mind a lot, which again, it gets tiring if you do it for long periods of time. And also, I would describe this job more of a left brain versus right brain. You do use some of your right brain to bring in creative solutions and such, but in reality, it is mostly just your left brain working with just bringing solutions in and being more analytical and more of a problem solver. The next con is that it could be quite challenging, and with challenges comes stress, and that is quite normal. A lot of the times I find myself looking at new problems that I've never seen before and I have no idea how to solve, and I have to figure out how to, you know, because that's what I got hired for. I know that every job does have some stress, but I do feel that software engineering has a greater amount of stress. But that is why I think it's really important to take care of your health, get good sleep, and take breaks whenever needed in order to balance out that stress. The next one is that you will always be learning. Things are always constantly changing in technology, so you always have to kind of learn the new technologies, and also there are just so many problems in a code base, honestly, that you're not always gonna know how to solve it all. So if you're a person that just always consistently wants to learn, then I feel that this is great. But if you're not and you like doing more like repetitive things, then maybe this field is not the greatest for you. The next one is that there is a lot of competition to get into this field. And also the interviews to do this job are quite hard. I almost describe it as like studying for the SAT, because there's just so many elements to this interview. You have to do a ton of leak code problems. You have to have some experience. You have to build your own projects. You have to know how to explain your thought process and be able to code on a whiteboard and code also via HackerRank. So there's no doubt that these interviews are quite hard, and there's a lot of great candidates out there. So you honestly just have to keep on pushing and keep practicing and keep building your resume and portfolio in order to get into this field. And also, I want to note that it is completely normal to fail some of these interviews. You're only human and you just want to learn how they are even run. So don't be discouraged if you do a few interviews and you don't get them. I would consider that kind of normal and just persevere through it, honestly, because even I failed like a couple of them, and that is okay because I learned so much from every failure. And all those failures got me to the point of where I'm at now. And finally, the last one is that you are gonna be known for more of like the geeky stereotype. Again, if you think of a software engineer, I feel like that stereotype of just being a little bit nerdy or geeky and just like really into gaming or anime pops up in your head. And there's nothing wrong with this. It's just knowing that you're kind of gonna be stereotyped that way, and also you might interact with a lot of these people. And also I realized that some companies have these types of people more than others, so it just kind of depends who you work for. And just knowing how to interact with these people are kind of important. That is just something to keep in mind when entering the tech world, that we're kind of stereotyped that way, unfortunately. But I really want to change that, which is why I have this YouTube channel, and I really just want to bring more of like a well-rounded feel to it. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed, and let me know if you have any other video suggestions that you want me to do. And yeah, that is it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.